Deputy Minister for Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, Narend Singh, says more collaboration needs to be forged between the departments of basic education, higher education and learning, as well as forestry, fisheries and the environment. This in order to educate younger learners about pollution, studying and employment opportunities in the field. Singh was leading the SA Agulhas 2 open day and demonstrations cruise at the East London port out in the Eastern Cape. The demonstration cruise tour and open day is meant to educate learners, educators and even scientists, among others, about the role played by the vessel in maritime research. SABC News' Sitima Mfegu is following that story.
Currently underway here at the port of East London, where SA Agulhas 2 is docking to educate the people of this particular city about the pivotal role that is played by SA Agulhas 2 in terms of research, especially in the marine world, as well as issues relating to climate and everything that happens in the sea. But now to speak to us further about this particular event, we're joined by the Deputy Minister of Fisheries, Forestry, as well as Environment, Mr. Narend Singh. Sir, thank you very much for your time. We see a lot of young people that are coming here, even just a group here behind you being educated. What is the message that you're bringing across to these people?
Well, thank you very much for having me, and good day to all your viewers. And well, it's a message of inspiring these young people in particular to follow disciplines in marine sciences, in research, even being the captain of this ship, of this beautiful vessel. And the current captain is Captain Mluli, somebody we're very, very proud of. And I'm here on behalf of Minister George, who's in Addis Ababa at the moment, and on behalf of DM Swartz and the department in general, to welcome the crew and the scientists back from an almost 2-month voyage to the Antarctica. And we've decided that whenever the vessel returns from either the Antarctica or Marian Islands, then we will stop at a port. The next stop will be in Durban, sometimes in May, and we have an open day exhibition. Yesterday we were very pleased to have 37 schools out of 40 represented, with hundreds of scholars here on board the vessel looking at the exhibitions. And I was very pleased that there were searching questions from some of these youngsters, and I saw in them future captains, future scientists, future marine biologists, and I think that's the purpose of us being here.
Yeah. And when we were talking to the Director of Marine Research earlier on in the day, he was telling us that the reception has been quite good. You've been receiving quite a lot of young people that are interested. But now the question is, what are they asking about? What are their main interests when we're talking about this field?
Well, I think what they ask about, what's this vessel all about? What does it do? And we show them the laboratories, and we show them everything else. And we show them this icebreaker that we have, because this vessel was built in 2012 at a cost of about 1.7 billion. It's a property of the South African government, or the South African taxpayers, let me rather say, but managed by the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment. And, you know, they get absolutely thrilled that this vessel can break through a meter of ice in the Antarctica. And we're very proud as a country within Africa that I think we're the only country that has this kind of vessel. Yeah. And in sub-Saharan Africa, we have the most number of marine biologists and scientists. In fact, within our department, with interns and those that are there for a long, we've got about 100 of them. So students asking about what opportunities are available for them as they move forward. And I'm glad that, you know, we have a number of people from, not that I come from Durban, but from KZN and Durban on board here, captaining, vice captains, etc.
And I like the fact that you're talking about the young people that are looking to find information and opportunities here, because there is quite a concern from, you know, people who are in the marine industry, marine engineers and so forth, about the number of engineers that are produced in universities in South Africa, that it's quite really low. Are you looking to work with the Department of Higher Education and to try and push harder for this industry to be, you know, very interesting and likable in universities?
Yeah, higher education is very involved in fact, in the expeditions, in the research, and so is science and technology. So we work with a number of departments, and I think with this kind of coordination, with us driving it from the front and them providing these opportunities. I mean, I was very pleased to hear that the captain himself and the harbour captain, Captain Zungu, who's based here in East London, studied at the Technikon in KwaZulu-Natal in Durban. So I was saying to some of these young people yesterday, don't when you finish matric, say I want to go to University of Cape Town or Forte or Stellenbosch, because Technikons also offer kind of opportunities in the maritime industry. So that's something we want to encourage. We need more of them. But it's pleasing when you look around and you ask the captain who his crew is, that I think 95% of them are black African. And South African, black African, and that's a great thing for them to sail 11 days to Antarctica, 11 days back in charge of such a vessel that costs so much money. We feel very, very proud as South Africans, and with the leadership that President Ramaphosa offers, that we can cause this transformation to happen in our society.
Yeah. And when we're talking about the things that you educate people about the maritime industry, it's very important that you speak to them about, polluting the sea. How far are we as South African in bridging the gap between the knowledge people have about sea pollution as well as the work you've done as a department in educating?
Well, general pollution and waste management is extremely important topic for us in the department. And I always believe that if you don't start at school, at grade 2, grade 3, grade 4 level, then we're not going to win this battle, because we know that our children are our biggest influences of parents and grandparents. So we are working a lot. We are going into waste management and recycling projects in our schools as part of the program of the DFFE, but it's young people that will carry this message forward, and then there's a lot that we still have to do, because when we talk about climate change, global warming, etc., 90% of it is caused by human beings.
Yeah.
And we have only one planet, so we have a duty to our constitution, section 24, which says that we have to preserve this planet for future generations, and I think that's a responsibility of Minister George, DM Swartz, and myself and our department.
Yeah. And lastly, the availability of practical laboratories around the country in cities, especially the Eastern Cape, where it's a rural city. There's not a lot of them. Are you working in having a lot of laboratories for people who want to explore this further, not only wait for SA Agulhas to come to East London for them to be educated about this?
Well, what we'd like to do is, with higher education, is work on partnerships with our tertiary institutions and see, as DFFE and as a tertiary institution, how we can beef up the capacity that they have. We have Technikons, we have TVET colleges, we have universities in and around the country, and if we can provide particular curriculum that gears itself towards marine biology, I think that we will succeed and attract more and more young people to this discipline.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. That is Deputy Minister Narend Singh in Fisheries, Forestry and Environment, saying there that they, as a department, they are hoping to work with the Department of Higher Education in terms of making sure that more graduates are produced in South African universities, that graduates that are going to be interested in this particular field, but also educate learners from as young as primary school about pollution in general.